Welcome back. This is episode 169 of the Veterinary Business video show. In this episode we'll hear about an elegant way to reach agreement in even the most difficult situations, and we'll learn how new graduates can gain better control of their career in practice. We'll learn the 5 important questions you should ask your accountant. We'll hear how your nursing staff can make a bigger contribution to practice income, and I'll offer you my quick business tip for this episode. I'm John Sheridan, and this is the video show from Veterinary Business. I'm planning the contents of this episode as the forthcoming referendum on the UK's future in or out of the European Union is really hotting up. There's really no simple right or wrong answer to this or many of the other political, social and economic challenges facing your country and mine. So we rely on the democratic judgment of millions of our citizens to come up with a collective way ahead. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we get it right on June the 23rd. But whatever the outcome, the one thing worse than getting it wrong would be to maintain the uncertainty and make no clear-cut decision one way or the other. In a business situation, that's exactly what happens all too often, because the decision makers find themselves on opposite sides of the argument and are simply unable to find a consensus which meets their joint objectives. Here's a clip in which William Ury offers an elegant way to create agreement in even the most difficult situations.
Well, the subject of difficult negotiation reminds me of one of my favorite stories from the Middle East, of a man who left to his 3 sons 17 camels. And to the first son he left half the camels, to the second son he left a third of the camels, and to the youngest son he left a ninth of the camels. Well, 3 sons got into a negotiation. 17 doesn't divide by 2, it doesn't divide by 3, it doesn't divide by 9. Brotherly temper started to get strained. Finally, in desperation, they went and they consulted a wise old woman. The wise old woman thought about their problem for a long time, and finally she came back and said, well, I don't know if I can help you, but at least if you want, you can have my camel. So then they had 18 camels. The first son took his half of 18 is 9. The second son took his third, a third of 18 is 6. The youngest son took his ninth, a ninth of 18 is 2. You get 17. They had 1 camel left over. They gave it back to the wise old woman. Now, if you think about that story for a moment, I think it resembles a lot of the difficult negotiations we get involved in. They start off like 17 camels, no way to resolve it. Somehow